Nova Scotia Birding 2024, the second half of the year. An engaging flock of short-billed dowitchers were fun to watch at Island Bait Road, Cape Island, on the 13th. A great find by a beach walker was a burrowing owl. A photo on social media had us scurrying down to Blanche Peninsula, more in hope than expectation, on the 12th of July. Luckily the bird was still there and remained for some time. These photos were taken on the 17th. The owl delighted many Nova Scotia listers and it stayed until at least the 2nd of October. It favoured this small crevice in the rocks of the breakwater, along the beach at the end of the peninsula, and could be seen sunning itself at the entrance when the weather was nice. Ruby-throated hummingbirds were getting ready to start the southward migration. Common nighthawks were seen flying by day over the highway junction at Oak Park on the 28th of July. August started nicely with a trip to the French Basin Trail at Annapolis Royal on the 5th, where we enjoyed wood ducks and a solitary sandpiper, amongst other birds. A little blue heron, feeding in a roadside pool, was a nice sighting at Doctor's Cove on the 12th. Broad-winged hawk is always a welcome find, but maybe not a great yard bird to have if you want to keep the little birds happy. This one pitched up at Clam Point on the 14th. The blue jays were not pleased. Highland Heights Road on Cape Sable Island can be a good place to catch up with warblers. This Wilson's warbler and northern water thrush were present on the 17th of August. This upland sandpiper was wandering the yards in Pubnico. We caught up with it on the 19th. Lockport has become a reliable spot to see house sparrow in Shelburne County. These were on the 28th of August. We also saw some charming juvenile barn swallows here. It's always nice to see Nelson sparrow. This one was on the Cape on the 29th. Another look at the burrowing owl on Blanche Beach. This time it had flown a short way down the beach and was standing in the open. We took the opportunity to collect a few pellets and feathers to send for analysis. The bird flew back to its favorite crevice after we had gone. This video was taken on the 30th of August. Also on the 30th, a warbling vireo turned up in the Clam Point yard. September, and migration had really started. We went over to the French shore and enjoyed a couple of white morph little blue herons at Mavalette on the 8th. This one seemed to have considerable trouble subduing an eel. We used to get white-winged dove yearly in the yard, but had missed it for the last couple of years, so this bird making a brief stop at Clam Point on the 12th was very welcome. Back to the French Basin for a look at this great egret on the 13th of August. A really delightful find for us was a yellow-throated warbler on the Hawke, Cape Sable Island on the 17th of September. This glossy ibis was feeding actively on the ballpark at Clark's Harbour, Cape Sable Island, on September 17th. It was a bit foggy when this video was taken. The bird had originally been found at Doctor's Cove earlier in the month, before it relocated to the ball field and showed very well. Another trip to the French Basin on the 19th, to look for a Wilson's phalarope, which had decided that the sewage treatment works was a good spot. We took the opportunity to check out the long-staying solitary sandpiper, too. A brown thrasher was a brief but welcome visitor to the Clam Point yard on the 27th. Prothanotary warblers are always great to see, and this one was no exception. It was found by Kyle Dauntemont and was feeding actively in a huge pile of driftwood that someone had built on the edge of the Hawke Beach, Cape Sable Island, on the 28th of September. We had good views that afternoon, as did a few local listers. This lark sparrow was a nice find on the road to Blanche on the 2nd of October. We went down to check on the burrowing owl, and had the last recorded sighting of that bird. Dickcissels are probably less than annual in the Clam Point yard. This one turned up on the 8th. This sharp-shinned hawk took to sitting on a post next to the feeders in the Clam Point yard where it scared off the smaller birds. It got so regular and persistent that we had to go out and shoo it away. These images were taken on the 14th of October. A great find by a homeowner in Pubnica was a red-headed woodpecker. We saw it in the homeowner's yard on the 14th. Northern shrikes can be hard to find. This one was on Briar Island on the 17th of October. A rusty blackbird graced the Clam Point yard on the 19th. We found a red-bellied woodpecker on Blanche on the 20th of October. Perhaps the most spectacular find of October was a smart Harris's sparrow, found by Kathleen Corley, at Argyle Head. We saw it on the 24th of October, when it was coming to seed scattered just inside a field gate. We came back again to enjoy more views on the 25th. Leaving the Harris's sparrow site, we were delighted to come across a small flock of eastern bluebirds on the 25th of October. The 30th of October saw us undertake a long meandering trip to Halifax Airport, and taking advantage of a little birding on the way. This Cooper's hawk struck a pose on a fence at Grand Prix. We also went to see some lingering sandhill cranes at Milford on the same day. These would be our last Nova Scotia birds until December, as we were out of the country until then. Clam Point welcomed us home with a lark sparrow in the yard on the 6th of December. A quite unusually showy winter wren entertained us at Forbes Point, Shelburne County on the 16th. This lovely American woodcock seen at Swim Point was a great Christmas present on the 26th of December. A couple of rough-legged hawks had been frequenting Lobster Pound Road in Yarmouth Harbour, and we went to find them on the 28th of December. Last year's female King Ida reappeared off Cape Sable Island during December. It was great to see the Queen again, although she could be elusive. She remained in the area until at least February 2025. If you like birding and Nova Scotia, don't miss Mark's eclectic take on birding memoirs. The 7-year Twitch and Hold My Limpkin are both available in paperback or ebook format, from Amazon. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel, for more videos on a birding theme.